If you wanted to learn more about how to build your own six-figure business, if you want to learn more about how to really develop your idea and really get it to where it needs to be, today is going to be the video for you. Today, I have my man's here, Marc Coley, the CEO of the Marc Coley Business Academy, and also a great keynote speaker in himself, very motivational. And we're going to jump into it, starting now.
Yes.
What's up, guys? Antoine here once again from M.A.D Talk. M.A.D Talk is all about showing how entrepreneurs and creatives are making a difference in their everyday world. Before we even jump into this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to know whenever we have a new video coming out next. And today, again, I have the great pleasure of speaking with Marc Coley, again, the CEO of the Marc Coley Business Academy, great keynote speaker, very motivational. And I'm just going to kick it to him right now. I want to know a little bit more about your background, Marc.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So I am 33 years old, military veteran. I've been an entrepreneur for about, I've kind of lost count. I want to say it's close to 13 years now. Let me see real quick, because I actually let me just see how long, because I remember my first business was in, let's see, yeah, 14 years now. So I've been an entrepreneur for a while, 14 years of doing this stuff and figuring out and navigating. I'm a first generation entrepreneur, so I have no one in my family that I necessarily can cling to for business advice. So it's been a journey. I went to the military, honestly, because I needed some money for my business. So I tell people I don't have the story of, I went to the military to fight for my country and I wanted to see the world. No, I needed some money for my business because I wanted my business to continue to go through, and I realized I needed money in order to do so. And so I signed a 4-year contract to the military in order to continue to pour finances into my business. And as a result, it's probably one of the best decisions that I ever made. A strong background in church, spiritual background. Been a speaker majority of my life. I've probably been a speaker for at least maybe 15, 16 years. So pretty versed in that, thanks to church. What else? I'm an author. I've traveled around this country, around the world, surprisingly. Would never have considered that would be my testimony, or that would be my life, because I come from the country, like really the country, like a city with a gas station and a post office and two churches, a white church and a black church. So, for me to live the life that I live now, it's probably somebody, back years ago looking at my life, I would probably be like a mega superstar to them. And so I'm just super grateful for the influence that I have, the growth that I've experienced in life. And it's a pleasure to be here, man.
And first off, I know you said that you went into the military to really build, just to get money to really build your business. But either way, I want to thank you for your service, because
Thank you.
I have the utmost respect for all of our veterans. My family, I have a bunch of family that are military men themselves.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of respect for that.
Yes, sir.
I would like to talk about this because it reminds me a little bit of like Joko. I think it's like I forgot this guy's name. I think it's what is his name? Jarko or something like that. Like, he's a military guy who's also doing business stuff, and he's like Extreme Ownership. That's his book.
Okay. I feel like I've seen that. Is he like a keynote speaker too?
Yeah, he's a keynote speaker too.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've, yeah.
Yeah,
I know exactly
Extreme
what you're talking
Ownership.
about.
And one thing that I want to ask you, because I noticed this about a lot of military guys, a lot of people don't notice, is that a lot of military guys actually own businesses, or actually build businesses when they get out of the military. Do you feel like the military prepares you a little bit more than maybe like college or something like that when it comes down to building your business?
I don't know if it necessarily prepares you, but I do believe that it gives you a great sense of discipline. It gives you a great sense of commitment to something. And all of those are traits that I've learned in the military. And some of the things that I've learned in the military as well has helped me inside of business. I don't know if it necessarily, prepares you, but I can't help but to take some of the teaching and the training and the skill sets that I've learned from the military and apply them in a business setting, with how we have rank and structure in the military, how we have our chain of command, how we have uniforms. And so I have taken some of those elements and incorporated them inside of my business. But I don't know, because there's thousands of people that get out of the military every day and go right back into corporate. So I don't know if I would just say that it prepares you for business, but if you are a business-minded individual, it can help you expand in that area. I would say that. So if you have a passion for business like myself, coming from a military background is definitely, I think, a plus, and it's something that you can have as an advantage.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
And something that like just instantly pops into my head when you said the thing about business minded or business oriented person. Do you feel like that's something that you inherently have inside of you? Am I
Yeah.
correct? That's not
Yeah.
something that, you can learn how to be a business owner. You can
Mm-hmm.
learn you can develop that, but some people that's inside of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
would you say even before you decide to build a business, even before you start like the preparation process,
Mm-hmm.
getting to know yourself a little bit more and seeing about what those passions are?
Yeah, yeah. I in high school, it's so funny. In high school, I don't really know what it's called. I guess we were having class night, and so whoever was in charge of writing like little small inserts about each person, they got together, and my little insert was the little guy with the big ideas. And so in high school, my peers were aware that it was something different about me, that I had these big ideas of feeling like I can change the world. And so that's how I know that I'm not a person that decided to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur decided for me. I feel so strongly that it is a calling, and when you are connected to it as far as an assignment, it's one of those things that you just can't escape. When somebody is in it for the money and you're just only looking for notoriety, or you're just looking for a quick come up, you can still be successful at entrepreneurship, because some people are just good at learning a skill set and mastering it. But I believe for people like myself, this was wired in my DNA before I even could articulate what entrepreneurship was. And I often say, before I knew the word entrepreneurship, I was walking in that vein. I was walking in that calling, because in 2008, I didn't hear that term entrepreneur. I referred to myself as a visionary, as a dreamer. Those were the ideas, or the words that I used to describe myself. And so when you started to get into the era of social media, because when I was building a business, e-commerce was still fairly new. I remember my first website was Wix. And so I was literally learning as I was going in 2008, what a domain was, what hosting a website meant, all of these things about business, getting a license. It was so exciting. It was like I had discovered a new world. At the same token, because e-commerce was so new, there was no easy way for people to buy shirts from me, because I was selling shirts at the time. And so I said all that to say, this is who I am. I don't know another way to be. It's just who I am, what I was created to do. So I'm so passionate about it, because it's my life. It's like, I feel like just like somebody could be called to be a doctor, and you just, as a kid, you used to cut animals open and operate on them. Like, that's how I feel about business. I've always been this way, and I can't help it. It's just who I am.
Mm-hmm. And I can understand where you're coming from on that, because
Mm-hmm.
with me and being a creative and doing content creation, everything like that, ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to do either
Yeah.
be a musician,
Mm-hmm.
be an actor, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
So when I really fell into content creation, whenever I was 21 and I started learning more about that, it was just a natural fit for me.
Yes.
It was a
Yes.
natural fit for me, and it just felt like that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right now I am working, a corporate job and like doing this on the side, trying to build it up.
Yeah.
But all in all, I know deep down inside that I will never truly be happy and when
Mhm.
I'm truly doing what I love.
Yeah, exactly. I think those are clear indicators to the person that there is something different about being in this space that makes me come alive. And so when something is a calling or assignment, you're looking for that feeling. You're looking for that coming alive feeling, like this is my zone, this is my element. And that's not to say that you're the master in that area, but that is to say that there's a certain grace that you have in that area where it's naturally instilled in you. You know, some people are naturally gifted actors and you've never taken an actor's class. Some people are naturally gifted writers and you've never taken a class. Some people are naturally gifted at drawing and you've never taken a class. And so it's not to say that you are the master at that assignment, but it is to say there's a grace on your life to pursue that. And I think those are clues that God gives us to pursue certain areas. Like, and you're typically affirmed in those areas. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes there are people that will help you to self-identify by saying, you're really good at that. You're really good at that, because when you house the gift, you're just doing what you do. And you just think it's common. You know, everybody knows how to draw. Everybody knows how to sing. Everybody knows how to act. Everybody knows. And because it's come so natural to you, you downplay it sometimes until somebody comes along and say, you. And then another person comes along and say, this, you're really good at this. You're really, and so there's a certain level of your confidence being built in that area because people are coming to affirm you in that. Not always, but most of the time.
Most times, yeah.
Mhm.
And you know, the number one question that I have that's popping in my head now, because I always have a lot of questions that pop into my head, um, it's about work-life balance a little bit.
Mhm.
Because again, let's take myself for example. I work a 40-hour-a-week job that I'm, you know, putting a lot of time, a lot of effort into. But then I'm
Mhm.
also like when I'm getting off, I'm trying to work on my business. I'm also trying to go to the gym and be healthy
Mhm.
and, you know, just continue building my life and be
Yeah.
social.
Mhm.
How do you balance that?
Um, I don't know if I like the word balance. And not that I don't like the word balance. I think it's this far off wonderland that we all strive to one day arrive to. And I don't necessarily think it's what we anticipate it being. What I mean by that is, you know, when we speak of this balanced life, we think of everything having a perfect fit. You know, I got equal amount of time for business, equal amount of time for work, equal amount of time for gym, equal amount of time for family, equal amount of time, equal amount of time for all things important. And that's really not the case with life. You know, it's kind of like if you look at the analytics of your phone and the battery source, I think this is a good way to look at it. Certain apps pull more energy, you know. So if you got Facebook open and you may have another app that's, you know, something small, Facebook may pull or require more energy from you. So when you look at the analytics of your battery, in the beginning of the day, you start off with 100%, but you've been on Facebook all day today. So it's pulled 50% of your battery. So now you only have 50 more percent to divide among other things. And so life is the same way. You know, in certain seasons of your life, certain things get more of your time and energy, and you got to understand that that's perfectly normal and perfectly fine. And so what I teach my students, I say that you got to pick what's important in what season, because everything can't always be important. You know, you can't be the gym guru, the travel guru, the business guru, the fitness guru, the money saving guru, the family expert, the best friendships. Something is going to get left behind, and that's normal. And I want people to relieve themselves of this idea of that every other person is balancing their life so perfectly. No, there's something that's getting left that they have decided is not as significant in this season. So you may have seasons in your life where your friendships may take a decrease of your energy. And as long as you verbalize that, hey, friends, for the next 3 months, I'm gonna be head down in school. I'm gonna be head down in this work. I'm here, but we may not hang out every Friday. Some seasons of your life, you may say, I really got to get my fitness back on point. So, hey, friends, I'm not going to be available Monday through Wednesday because I'm going to be at the gym. Some seasons of your life, you building up your finances. Hey, I'm about to take a part-time job. Just, you get what I'm saying? So every season is not going to always be this perfect balance, but you do need to decide what's important in this season. And so when you ask yourself that question, hey, what's important right now? Okay, what's important right now? My goal is to get this business launch. Okay, I need income. All right, what's going to be significant now is attending conferences, reading books, working out, meditation. Next season, after this is launched and this is good and this is running efficient, all right, I'm getting back in the gym. All right, this is going to be, you get what I'm saying? So you're going to alternate that balance. It's never going to be this perfect 5% here, 5% here, 5% here, 5% here.
I think, and honestly, that's probably the thing that a lot of people are afraid of.
Yeah.
Because when you have all of these things you're trying to juggle and balance, when you drop one of them, there's also a person that's associated with one of those things.
Yeah.
They're going to make you feel like, you know, you're the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's about you doing what's good for you. Like I even had people who worked with me who recently said, hey, I got to go because I want to focus on this. I told myself if the opportunity came, I was going to focus on this and put my all into it. My thing, the thing I told them, listen, me and you, there's no bad blood between us. Go out, do your thing and succeed. That's the only thing I tell you. Go out and do your thing and succeed. Because if that's truly what you want to do, all this other stuff is just going to make you feel trapped. It's going to make you feel angry. You're going to just turn resentment. And it's going to turn maybe a friendship or a great working relationship into something toxic. Something toxic because of that. So, you know, I totally agree with you that, you know, people need to, one, realize what their goals are, what they really want to do, and focus in on that. You can't be focused on 15 different things at once.
Possible.
You can't. It is impossible.
Yeah.
Your mind has to be in one place and has to stay in that one place once you're doing it. You can block out time. You can block out time and stuff like that to do things. But also at the same time, you have to remember, if you truly want to succeed at something, you got to put your all into it.
That has to be a focus. Yeah.
Yeah. So that being said, what I would like to know too is, okay, so people are like, hey, I want to go in on this business. I want to build a business. How do they find an actual business idea for themselves? And how do they like create a proof of concept of sorts for that business?
It's different. I was actually just talking to one of my best friends. He owns 2 subways. He has some other endeavors that he's going on. So he's very business minded. And we were talking about the conversation of passion being involved in things that you're called to do. So there's 2 types of entrepreneurs. There are entrepreneurs who are skill set entrepreneurs, and there's entrepreneurs who are passion driven. And I don't think either is necessarily a bad, you know, you'll come from 2 train of thoughts. People say, find your passion and pursue that and turn that into a business. Some people will say, find where the money is, turn that into a business, you know, but it just depends on what type of person you are. If you are driven by passion, pursue your passion. Driven by, you know, wealth, pursue that, you know. I'll say, based on how I am, and that's passion-based entrepreneurship, I say find things that you really enjoy doing, and something that could be easily monetized. And typically, as I said earlier, people will point out those skill sets to you and they will say, hey, I'll pay you to do this. I'll pay you to do this. Now, every skill that we have is not easily turned into a business. Some things you have to figure out, what part of this gift can I turn into a business? I may be a great singer, but it may not be just easy for people to pay me to sing. So I may now be a writer. I may now be a vocal coach. I may, you know what I'm saying? There's ways to monetize the gift, but it may not be the most apparent way until you do a little digging. But I'll say that anybody that's interested in starting a business, from my perspective, you find those gifts that are easy to you. Now, once again, when going into business, something that we don't have a conversation a lot about is that you could be very skilled in your gift and not skilled in running a business. Those are 2 different skill sets.
Go in.
2 different skill sets.
That's where we need to take this. Go in.
Yeah. So a lot of people just assume just because I've told you that you make really great cakes, it doesn't mean that you're a great business owner. And so those are 2 different skill sets that have to be cultivated. And just because you're really good at the skill doesn't necessarily you're good at building a business around that. And so you just have to be aware of that business is business, skill set is a part of it, but also, properly pricing yourself, also marketing, also making it accessible to your target audience, also finding out who your target audience is. Also, I always know when I'm dealing with baby entrepreneurs, because I used to be the same way. Who's your target audience? Everybody. No, everybody's not your target audience. Everybody, that's why I say it's target audience. Target is a target,
Yeah.
But I know when I'm dealing with a baby entrepreneur, because it's in your mind, everybody can use what I have. And that may be true. Everybody could use what I have, but everybody doesn't want what I have. So your target audience are those who want and can use what I have. Everybody can use some water, but everybody is not going to buy the Aquafina. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Aquafina everybody's not going to buy smart water. Everybody drinks water. So the smart water is not going to say this is for everybody. No, this is a premium water bottle. So this is going to a particular clientele. Everybody can shop at Target, but there are some people that prefer to shop at Walmart because Target is a little bit more expensive. So getting the difference between this is my skill set and I'm going to turn this into a business, but also I have to develop the skill set of running a business as well. So just always consider that as an entrepreneur. Yes, what you do can easily be turned into a business because there's always going to be people who will pay you for a service or problem that you solve. Mm-hmm. But also you need to understand how to run the business.
Yeah, how to keep it sustainable, how to keep it running over time and get out of the red and, and everything like that.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. And, speaking of that, as a creative, you deal with so many, like I'm closing my eyes when I'm saying this because I'm like, yo, you deal with so many creatives who believe that just because they're creative and they're good at their craft, that means that they can also run a business around that. Mm-hmm. The problem, like let's take Steve Jobs is like the biggest example of that a little bit, where you have Steve Wozniak, that was more of like, oh, he's the networking guy, he's the guy who got all the skills, know how to put everything together. But Steve Jobs was the business guy. He was the big picture guy, the one who really pushed it out there. And yeah, Steve Wozniak could have, done something. But honestly, I think that it was a benefit for him to have Steve Jobs there. I'm not saying that Steve Jobs is perfect, and I'm not saying that he's the only reason why Apple was successful or anything like that. It's just, again, he saw something and he was able to pursue it in a business route than his friend did.
Yeah.
So, I think the issue is that a lot of creatives or a lot of people who want to run a business, they need to learn how to do partnerships. How to work with people who have those skills. Because you might not be a good talker.
Yeah, exactly.
The face of what you're doing. Have someone that's a good friend of yours that could be a good talker, that could be a face of what you're doing. And you need to learn how to, one, get your ego out of it, and then two, just be like, hey, if your main goal is to make a successful business, then you need to find other people to work with you on a team. So that being said, how can someone who is having a startup, building their company, what they want to do, they're passionate about it, everything like that, how can they build a team when they have no revenue coming in? How would you suggest that?
Well, it's gonna be hard, not gonna feed you any lies. It's gonna be hard because everybody is in the pay me society. Which is understandable. People need to be compensated for their worth, because you don't want to work for free. So, you can't get mad if somebody else doesn't want to work for free. But what I have found to work, because I am a visionary, scripture says, write the vision, make it plain so that they may run with it. And so I think it's interesting that it uses that part where it says that they may run with it. It didn't say write the vision, make it plain so that you may run with it. It says they may run with it. And so they being the people that you cast the vision to. And so if that is the case, then I must be a good forecaster of my vision. And so in doing so, it's the term that you used earlier, I must provide proof of concept. Every single thing that I've endeavored to do, I was the first partaker in it. And so when people see that you're the first partaker in it, and they see that you're passionate about it, and they see that you're showing up, and they see that you're relentless, and they see that you have a blueprint, it inspires a group of people that are called to help you build it. And those are going to be the people that will be your foundation to help you build until you're able to sustain and then pay somebody else. Everybody's not going to jump on the bandwagon, but everybody's not assigned to help you in the foundational parts of building. That's why I also can tell a baby entrepreneur, because they're crying that so-and-so is not supporting or so-and-so is not helping. You got to understand that some people are assigned to your life in the beginning, and then some people are going to be assigned to the project once it's up and moving. I'm not going to turn you away just because you came at a later phase, because your skill set may be needed at the lateral and not at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So you have immature entrepreneurs who would say stuff like, well, you wasn't with me when I was building. Well, they didn't see the vision then. Now they see it. And so now they can be an asset to the team because they now see it. Or in other words, you've proven that you're faithful over a few things. And now people notice that you're consistently showing up every day doing your live. And you were doing it first year and nobody was getting on, but you still showed up. And now you've got notoriety. And now the people that have been looking at you say, hey, I want to help you take it to the next level. So in other words, how you build your team is you first show up. You show up consistently, passionately. You are relentless, and you keep putting your feet to the ground and going. I remember I started something called the Cleanup Crew, and I had this idea, and this was 08 years ago. I had this idea that I wanted to evangelize in a different way. You know, it was like how people do it is boring, and I want to be able to reach different people. I don't want to just pass out tracts. I want to hold up signs and do little cool stuff. And so I remember the first time I went out on the street, I told my friend about it. I was like, we're going to hold up signs and, something simple like hunk if you love Jesus. And we out there holding up signs. It's just three of us, me and my friend, we holding up signs. And we just, next time we went out, it was a few more people that joined us. Next time, a few more people. I was consistent with it because I actually enjoyed it. I look up one day and I do I call them assignments. I look up one day and the word had got out of what I was doing. And I had two major churches in the area that their entire youth department came out. And literally, I felt like Moses out there leading the people out of Egypt, because it was just this little guy, once again, this little guy with this big idea. And I had all of these people standing in a circle. We was in Burger King's parking lot in Columbus, Georgia. And I'm like, some people drove from Atlanta, which is an hour and a half away, to meet me there to hold up signs on the side of the street. Now, they did it because they saw me doing it consistently, and it built upon that. So if you want to build a team, you got to first show that you're passionate about what you're building. You got to show proof of concept. What was proof of concept for me? Me being on the street, not me saying online what I want to do. Man, I want to go out there and hold up signs. No, you go out there and take some pictures of you holding up the signs, and let's see you do that for 2 weeks straight. And then somebody else going to join you. Then somebody else going to join you. Then somebody else going to come on the team and say, hey, Marc, I'll send out the emails for you. Got an email marketing. Hey, Marc, I'm good at graphics. Do you need me to do the graphic? All right, now you got a graphic designer. Hey, Marc, I'm good at speaking to people. I can go to the schools and network, and I'll tell other people, all right, now you got a PR. You get what I'm saying? So now the team is being formed, and these are people that have volunteered because they see the passion and they see what it can become.
Yeah. And I think that that's the thing that a lot of us miss a lot of times. Like even me, like hey, since you said, hey, I'm gonna put myself out, I'm gonna put myself in there, man. I'm gonna put myself in there. I'm a little baby entrepreneur because I've been in that situation, like what you're talking about, where I've like, I brought all these people together. Yeah, let's do some YouTube stuff, everything like that, and then nothing happens because I didn't work hard enough, or I didn't, show good enough leadership by showing them, putting my money where my mouth is. If I'm saying that, hey, I'm working a whole job, and then I'm coming here doing stuff, I need to be coming in here and doing stuff. Show everybody else that's on my team, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, hey, not even this what I'm doing as to show them up. This is what I'm doing because I'm trying to build my damn business. Yes. General, I believe in this.
So I'm doing this because I believe in this if you were here or not. That's the type of tenacity you have to have. If you were here or not, I'll be still grinding it out. And so
Yeah.
when people see that, it moves people. I promise it moves them. People don't mind joining on board with something moving. Nobody wants to be a part of anything dead. So if you're a visionary and you can cast the vision, but not just cast it, because some of us are really great speakers, and we can enthuse people with what we say, and we can paint a picture. Oh man, this is gonna be lit, bruh, man, and we can put this over here, but tomorrow, if we don't come together and see this thing, if I don't see you out there painting the building and sweeping it out, I'm gonna say this ain't moving. But if I see movement, if I see growth, if next week you send me an email saying, hey, this is the updates, we were able to contact blah, blah, blah. We're going to able to contact this one. All right, we just got so-and-so who joined the team. People want to be a part of movement. Nobody wants to be a part of anything dead.
Exactly. And you hit the nail on the head, man. You hit the nail on the head, because I've had friends right now who have YouTube channels, for instance, or like who's starting a YouTube channel right now. And I've tried to get them for like years, be like, hey, let's work together. And they're like, nah. But now that they started one, they're like, hey, Antoine, can you help me out with this? Can you help me out? Like, I need someone help to market it and everything like that. And I point them in the right direction. I would like say, hey, like you want resources? I'll point you to this channel who has resources, but I'm not going to do it for you because I have other stuff I'm doing. Not on no petty nonsense. Just I'm building my own thing. You know what I mean? So, I can't really like, and I think that's what a lot of people get bogged down by, is that they want to be a nice person and they want to be like, hey, I'm nice, I treat people well and stuff like that. But you got to realize that some people will use that niceness against you. Especially if you let them. Teach people how to treat you.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I live by that. Yes.
That's a whole nother interview, man.
It is.
And before, because we're about to get into like my favorite part of these interviews, the 2-minute pitch segment. But before we get into that, I really want to ask you this question, as you being a Black entrepreneur. And for me, I'm always looking for, more Black entrepreneurs that are out here doing their thing. You're a little bit older than me. I'm only 28. You're 33. And you've been doing things for almost 20 years. You almost, you got some skills here that I don't, that I can learn from. So I'm always looking at you as like, hey, even though he's not really like my mentor, your actions are, being my mentor. And I
appreciate that.
Thank you. And as a Black person, as a Black man in America, and you're not trying, actually being in entrepreneurship, what do you feel like is the thing that is really holding us back, and how can we get away from that?
What's holding us back? Hopefully I don't step on any toes, but I don't know if anything is holding us back. That's not to say that we don't have racism, we don't have things in place to make it harder for us. But I do say that we live in a time where the internet, where the world is very receptive of different voices. And we live in such a divine moment, I believe, where if we have the skill set and the know-how and the courage and the consistency, that we can prevail. Because if we look back years ago, when we didn't even have the internet, and you have people and Black men and women who became millionaires, who became very successful during a time where it really was hard to be successful, I don't feel like we have anything holding us back now other than mindset, and so there's a lot of things that we have to unlearn first. But once you cross over that part and you begin to see what's possible, nothing holds you back except you. I love the analogy of because it explains the power of your mindset. If you have an elephant and you start that elephant as a young elephant tied to a fence that they cannot move away from, if you keep that elephant tied up to that same fence, when they are massive, when they're an adult elephant, they still will be tied to that same fence because they will believe that they cannot move. Now, at any moment, that elephant can walk away and tear the entire fence down. But in their minds, that fence is stronger than me. So I never challenge the fence. And so it's the same with humans. If we ever break past that part of saying what's possible and we start to see and we start to understand, scripture says, behold, I do a new thing. Do you not perceive it? Do you not understand it? Is your perception of what I'm doing, is it off? Do you understand this? Is this loading into your consciousness? What's really going on? And so if we could ever get to that place, nothing holds you back. Nothing. Only thing holds you back and me back was me. And that's hard to say and it's hard to admit, because when I point the finger, I also give you my responsibilities of being successful. It's now because of you that I'm not successful. And I think a lot of people get stuck right there. I'm not successful because I'm not successful because, you know, and so as long as I pass off the responsibility of being successful or overcoming, I'll never take ownership of it, because it's hard work. It's hard work to think differently. It's hard work to train your mind to say what's possible. It's hard when you don't have too many examples, but it's very possible. And so I explore life to be an example of what becoming looks like, openly becoming, you know, in every facet of my life, sexuality, spirituality, all of it, because I'm helping somebody to become. And because if I can help you to become, it's going to speed up the process in which we as a community can become, because we can only become what we see. And so if you don't have an example of what's possible, you only reflect what you see. You only become what you see. So this is my work. My work is to evolve right in the front and center of people, you know, explore life challenge systems, become the rebel and take the bullets for the people that's coming after me.
Exactly. And one thing that about the mindset shift, honestly, I think what a lot of people need to realize is that in the Black community, there's a lot of mental health issues there. And for me, with the project I'm working on, which you guys might not know about, but I'm doing a Black mental health docuseries right now. It's my first documentary series that I've ever done. And I'm talking to Black psychiatrists, everything like that. They're talking about things like generational PTSD, which a lot of people don't really understand the concept of that. They haven't had studies on it except for maybe 5 years ago.
Wow.
Maybe 5 years ago. And it's just that everything that we do a lot of times is PTSD from what has happened to our ancestors, and it has been passed down generation by generation by generation. And guys, definitely that's going to be coming out in hopefully 2023. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We're going to be working on that. That's something that I'm very passionate about. But yeah, so I think honestly, it's a mindset shift. It's us understanding that there's a lot of things that we have to unlearn as humans, as adults, whatever you might say. And then also we need to pass on to future generations the knowledge that we have, and not the knowledge of thinking that we're so much held back by so many people, the knowledge of how to overcome adversity, how to overcome challenges, not crying about it, not complaining about it. Yes, talking about it. Yes, but, it is a real thing, but don't let it rule over you.
Yes, completely
there. Right now, we're gonna do one of my favorite segments where I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock. My phone actually died, so I'm not gonna have a timer. So I'm looking at the clock.
I got you.
So you have 2 minutes. This is our 2 minutes pitch segment. I give every guest 2 minutes to pitch whatever they're working on, so that everyone in our community at Mad Talk can know about it. It's actually funny because you catch a lot of entrepreneurs who be like, I can't really do this in like 2 minutes or something like that. You know, like so I'm gonna give you the floor. 2 minutes on the clock. I'm watching it.
Okay, cool. So I have a TMCDA, which stands for the Marc Coley Business Academy. We have our premium program, I guess you can call it, which is Morning Acceleration, where I meet with entrepreneurs Monday through Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's a call and a class to provide discipline. We train from 3 areas, which are personal development, business development, and spiritual development. It's a community, it's accountability. It is that one tool that you need that I believe can help accelerate your life. It's called Morning Acceleration. It's very interactive, very class type of setting. I require that the students be on camera every morning, out of the bed, ready to take notes at 6 a.m. in the morning. And it's I've seen it be transformational for entrepreneurs. I also host one-on-one coaching calls. But that's my main thing. I'm switching my format to really pour into this academy and build it in such a way where it is really an elite type of community. I want it to be the standard for entrepreneurs, like if almost like a Harvard type setting for entrepreneurs. So if you wear that purple coat or that purple dress in our uniform, it stands for something. And I want, people to have on their website alumni of the Marc Coley Business Academy, and it really means something. So I'm working to brand that and build that in such a way where it has that legacy and it has that awareness in the marketplace that the people that come from this program are disciplined, they're integral, they're intelligent, they're go-getters, they're ambitious, they're really well-rounded entrepreneurs. So that's what I have available. I am changing the format of how I'm doing it, but that's to be revealed coming soon. But I'm excited about it, honestly, man. And I know it's going to continue to be transformational. It's going to continue to reach new heights. And I'm just honored to be able to do it.
In time. Wow. Okay. You made it right on time.
Well, it's funny when you said 2 minutes. I typically train my entrepreneurs how to pitch in 2 minutes. So yeah, listen. So I probably just it's automatic for me.
But guys, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been such a great and informative interview that I had with Marc here. Marc, before we go, I allow my guests to always do this at the end of every interview. What is your question of the day for our audience?
Question of the day?
Yeah.
Like, what would I ask them?
Yeah. Any question.
Oh, what's question of the day? When will you stop holding yourself back? I think that's a good question.
That's a great question. And guys, answer that question in the comment section below. And once we get responses, I'm gonna let Marc know, and Marc might be able to jump into the comment section as well and talk to everybody. See?
Yes.
But other than that, I would like to thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share on all your social medias, especially if you received knowledge from this interview. And I would like to thank you all again for watching. Other than that, I'm Antoine. This is Marc, and I would like to thank you for watching M.A.D Talk, and I will catch you in the next video.
Peace.
Peace.